morning, good morning, good morning. You already know who it is, targeted individual CJBK. And yeah, I'm still here, still alive. Haven't been back to the hospital or anything like that. At least, yeah. So, how do I even start this one? Yeah, I don't know. Like, 600 pounds. I know every TI isn't going through the same things. They aren't. Not every TI is going through the same thing. Not every TI is dealing with, I guess, gang stalkers, like physically doing destructive things to their property and things like that. Not every TI is, having things like physically stolen from them. Not every TI gets V2K. Not every TI gets, I don't know, like the tactics are different for each TI. And I realized this, all you gotta do is just listen to everybody's testimony. And then something else I've been paying attention to is who and what types of people gets what tactic used against them. Because for instance, I feel like people who get V2K, you are probably the strongest. All right, I'm not trying to compare. All right, don't want nobody to feel like I'm doing the whole I'm a more important TI because I get this or that. No. I think what it really boils down to is the level of spiritual, psychological, and physical strength that you have as a person. I think it boils down to that. Because I feel like if you get V2K, they felt like if you get V2K, they felt like you probably are entirely too strong for any regular covert, harassment, people walking up to you and saying things, or somebody moving this, or, let's just say if you're somebody who's like very observant of the things and the people around you, I feel like you would have to get V2K if you're a highly observant person, because if you're a highly observant person, you most likely are already kind of, especially when you become aware of targeting, you're already most likely heightened to notice everything and every person around you, whether or not they're talking about you or not, or looking in your direction or not. You kind of already have this heightened awareness. So they figured, in order to further disrupt your ability, in order to further disrupt your in order to further disrupt your ability to be able to overcome the psychological operations, or in order for you to, what was I? Dang, I got distracted. I lost my train of thought. But anyway, I feel like, if you get V2K, and not just like the repetitive, things of like the voicing, 1-2 words or a couple, but I'm talking like a full-on, they got like 3-4 people being transmitted into your auditory cortex. Then they got like, then they have other people jump in on the live stream because, I don't know, maybe somebody paid a little extra money, or they got friends that's a part of their augmented society, and somebody wanted to say something that'll get through to you too, or whatever the case may be. I feel like I feel like, every TI is being targeted in different ways. You can't use the same tactics on everybody. Among other things, let's say, like me per se, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, I'm very, very patient, but I'm also an empath. I'm very, I believe I have very great control over my emotions. I do know I have some impulses, but who don't have impulses. Some are just better at not acting on those impulses than others. So like me, my impulses are I like to spend money, right? I like to spend money, but mostly my money that I work for, money that I put the time and effort into obtaining and things of that sort. Nope, not gonna fit through that. All right. So, yeah, and then what they'll do is, okay, in my situation, right, when my targeting started, I had my own apartment. I was paying, what is it, $1,275 a month for one bedroom, right? Had the apartment for didn't even have the apartment for, let me see, I moved in September 2019. So I only had the apartment for a little over a year, 1490 Boone Avenue in the Bronx, apartment 2N. I only had the apartment for like a year before what I would believe was the street theater took place, as far as like that whole incident. Remember I told you about, the young woman in her 20s who ran out into the hallway screaming, someone call the police, he hit me. Then, my friend and I, we came into the hallway to see what was going on. She checked on the girl. Then, the guy that hit her was holding the girl's phone away from her so she couldn't call. So then when my friend walked over to her to check on her, she was like, girl, are you all right? And they was looking at her phone, and my friend said she seen blood on her. Then she turns around and asks me for my phone. So I'm like, all right, So I gave her my phone, Now, in their eyes, the gang stalkers, because Michael, the main one, he's the one that actually hit the woman, at least allegedly, because I didn't see the act myself. But he goes exactly as soon as I said I gave her my phone. So now in their eyes, I'm assuming you weren't supposed to give her your phone. You weren't supposed to let no one call the police. That's snitching. So when you think about it, it's like, okay, they basically are enabling anyone who's probably a pedophile, a repeat domestic violence offender, anybody who's probably a violent offender in general, anybody who probably goes around committing all these heinous acts. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it too, that many of these people that are a part of the augmented and gang stalker society, they actually all have a lot of recorded dirt about their own lives on this cloud server. Don't think that none of them don't have anything that can be used against them. They all have something that can be used against them. Only thing is, we just have to actually gain access to that server. When we gain access to the server, and the thing is, it's like, look, those servers are the like, that's like, if we could gain access to those servers, that's gonna be the fucking icing on the cake. Because if we gain access to the servers, that will literally blow this whole system wide open. Because everything about a person that should not be recorded or saved, or hell, even hell, even put in positions where it can be viewed by people who's not even supposed to see the information. That server, once that server gets like exposed, everything is getting exposed, but not just what they're doing. Everything that every person has ever done, because you got to remember, we're talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and brain mapping. Every single person that's living in an advanced society like ours, they all have a copy of themselves, or their brain, a copy of themselves, including their memories, everything that they've ever done, it's saved to this cloud server. And I could never get it through my mind, why in the world would anyone want to actively assist in, someone who is torturing humans? And then regardless if they threaten you because, regardless if they threaten you, you don't think that the moment you say yes, it's not going to get worse? And it's like most of them are all in this very, very comfortable state of just going along with it, because why? I guess they feel like they're being rewarded for not, they're being rewarded for not being righteous. They're being rewarded for not being truthful, honest human beings, because I don't know how you sit back and you watch someone's child get abused. You sit back and you watch someone's mother or grandmother or auntie or whatever. You watching somebody getting electronically sexually assaulted, and I'm just like, I don't know. Hold on. All right, so but yeah, so what I've been dealing with a lot more is they're not even attacking like my joints and appendages like they used to. Now they're focusing solely on, it seems like they're focusing more primarily on my cognitive functions, my ability to for my memory recall. They're focusing on my motor functions. They're focusing on, basically they're more focused on destroying the tissue of my brain, the cells in my brain, using this light energy. Now, as far as the infrasound, the extremely low frequencies and the very low frequencies, that stuff, I'm not exactly sure just how effective that stuff really is, but I'm pretty sure it's definitely still having an influence on my bodily functions, because it's sound that you can't hear. So and many of our cells and our organs and other things that operate within our body, they all operate within that extremely low and very low frequency. So if you're playing, let's say, so a study that I bring up often is the treatment for Alzheimer's and dementia, right? So they've been doing a study where if they play an auditory frequency of 40 hertz to patients who have Alzheimer's or dementia for about like 30 minutes or more a day, it helps improve their memory, their ability to function, things of that sort, right? Now, the other thing about that is that's just the frequency, right? Now, if you think about the intensity or the amplification of the frequency, plus the duration of how long a person listens. So, like, let's say if you listen to that 40 hertz on like a low intensity, low volume for like a short period of time, you could probably, maximize. You could probably maximize, like, you know, the positive health benefits of the whole thing. But let's say, for military purposes, if someone, oh, what's up, man? What you doing all the way over here? What you doing all the way over here? Oh, okay. Yeah, our new base is right up there on Spring and Greenwich. Yeah, yeah. It's huge as fuck though. Sorry, I haven't seen that dude in a while. He actually owns a sneaker shop, and like he owns like a sneaker and bubble tea shop in Chinatown. I mean, he's pretty cool. I never really got any like gang stalking vibes from him or anything like that. And that's another thing. There are going to be people that you actually have to just like how I handle people. I'm neutral with every single person until I get a vibe from them. Like, you know, I'm a natural empath, so my strength is in understanding emotions and feelings, right? Because, you know, people fail to realize is your emotions are a part of your decision making. Your emotions are energy themselves. Every emotion that you feel is a type of energy. So that's why when someone says good vibes, that means they're trying to basically spread higher vibrations, or they're trying to encourage other people to think of higher vibrational emotions, happiness, joy, what else? I don't know. I was trying to think of some more. I don't know. Love, right? All of these different emotions, right? They all contain energy, just like anger, hate, grief. Those all contain energy too. But each one of these emotions can actually control, or it can actually dictate not just the health of your psychological health, but they also go into the role of your cellular health. Because if you are psychologically feeling unhappy or unhealthy, then your cells are going to go right along and resonate with that same low vibration energy. And if your cells are vibrating at a low energy, then you're more likely to get sick, get ailments, get a disease, things of that sort. I mean, this is one of the reasons why, when it comes to Target and the gang stalking, they try to increase the amount of stress that you endure throughout your daily process. And you got to remember the reason for them doing this is because the real thing ultimately is to see if they can get people to die just from stress itself. You know, without having to actually put hands on you or use a physical gun or a weapon. The whole idea is to try to see if they can either get their enemy to. The whole idea is to try to see if they can get their enemy to either collapse because they can no longer take the psychological torment, or they collapse because their body just can't physically take the stress anymore of whether it's the psychological attacks or the direct energy attacks. But no. Hold on. Hold on. I'm coming. All right. So, what am I trying to say? But yeah, Yeah, getting back to my original topic, yeah, they have tactics for just about everybody based on your, I guess, your current personality traits or whatever. Um, like I said, people who probably have a low tolerance for pain, they probably use a lot more. They probably use a lot more direct energy attacks or manipulations of um, the organs and cells in your body to cause you more pain, like physical or sensory pain, because they already know you're the type of person that just can't take pain. If you're someone who probably can take pain, but let's say, you probably are triggered, if someone were to say specific things about how you look or how you think or anything dealing with your character, they'll attack you more psychologically. And that's the thing that, like, that's what we kind of all grew up knowing about certain types of people. Even in school, people are always taught, more times than likely, 9 out of 10 times, the people that are the most disruptive, the people that usually cause the most pain to others, the people who invest so much more energy into trying to, like, basically bring other people down to make themselves feel better, is because, one, they probably are used to physical pain. So you can't torture them with physical pain, because they're probably used to that. But not only that, they're probably more emotionally triggered. These are the type of people that, like, who probably have been told many things in their lives that went against their character, or they probably had their intelligence insulted at some point. Who knows? But yeah. So yeah, we're literally just dealing with bullies on steroids. That's basically it. Bullies on steroids who have weapons that are better than guns and knives. That's the worst part. It's like, is one thing, because you grow up, someone is either always telling you it's always better to avoid as much as you can. But the problem is, when you're a TI, most times most TIs pretty much avoid confrontation. I kind of grown to realize that most TIs usually do avoid confrontation, or most TIs usually are not the antagonist. Most TIs are not the ones who cause problems or things of that sort. We usually tend to be the ones who's really trying to do the right thing, or we're the ones who try to, like, we're the ones who try to uplift people. We're the ones who try to, like, actually encourage people. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to, do this to that person. You don't have to do these things in order to get what you want. You don't have to, shit on somebody in order to make yourself feel. We're those types of people. But the thing is, we live in a society, in a world, where if you have any comments about anyone who does something that's, let's just call it low vibrational, they got 110 people ready to basically do something to you, because you basically calling people out for the bullshit that they do. Especially to people who didn't provoke them at all. I don't know. So, yeah. But what I've been going through lately is a lot more attacks on the brain. They've been increasing the intensity of the frequency that they've had on several different sections of my brain. Primarily the motor cortex, memory, and I think the I think the visual cortex too. They've been really concentrating on these areas because I've been doing a lot of different things to try to like mitigate or reduce, my physical pains and doing whatever I can to, I guess, if I can heal my physical pains and things. But the only problem is that with all the healing and stuff that I'm doing, it's all being counteracted because I can't block the energy being transmitted from the light that they have locked onto my energy. And that's the other thing too, is like I think all TIs need to realize this is not just one particular, they're not getting at us in just one particular way. There's three ways that they're literally getting at us. And it's a trifecta warfare, what I would call it. It's a trifecta. Spiritual warfare, technological, and psychological. The spiritual warfare comes in for the fact that they're actually manipulating your energy, your bioelectric energy. They're manipulating your soul from being able to control your state of consciousness in your being. That's the psychological. That's the spiritual warfare. But I'm tired. Yeah, and then also a lot of people don't even realize a lot of this technology is deeply rooted, and it has like all the there's so many like I think for the most part when we see technology on TV or we hear about new technology, we're only looking at the aesthetics. We're only looking at the face part of it. If you're not a tech expert or you're not really advanced in technology, you're not looking into the deeper things or the possibilities of what this thing can do, or hell, even the ethics. I mean, well, no, you could probably be someone who's not even an expert in technology, but you can see how something could be taken into unethical measures, But so yeah, the spiritual warfare. A lot of this stuff goes all the way back to paganism. I mean, it's literally spell casting. I mean, honestly, and you know what? There was a TED Talk where someone mentioned, like, social media is full of spell casting. They said, like, for example, when you click like or sad or care or like, on Facebook, when you click on those different like buttons, the person receiving that is going to end up feeling something being tuned or changed within them. But this is not everybody. This is on individual basis. This is individual basis. Every time you like or you send like anything, any message to somebody online, and they somehow resonate. They resonate with it. If they feel sad because if you actually selected the sad button, then you just actually you in some way, shape, or form, you had an influence on that person's state of being, their spiritual energy. But there's also it also ties into the psychological too. Because the psychological part is really like a test on will. It's a test on your patience. It's a test on your self-control. Yeah, there's a lot of things as far as the psychological part, especially when it comes to this one. One of my favorite things is learning to let go. Learning to let go of things you can't control. Learning to let go of things that you cannot change. The psychological part is probably the second hardest part. Yeah, I think the psychological warfare is the second hardest part of the three. And then I say that because, well, they're attacking your mind and how you process the information that you're receiving, regardless of where the source is that you receive the information from, but how you process and how you manage your energy, your emotions, as you're processing the information that you just received. That's a part of the psychological. Now, the technological part, I feel like the technological part is the most difficult part, the hardest part, because like I said, if you're not a tech expert, you're going to be trying to catch up on reading about stuff that has been in play for like several decades. I mean, hell, if you even go all the way back to the basics of many of these technologies and the way the electronic harassment works at its most bare minimum. This can go all the way back to, this can go centuries, because I mean, a lot of the tactics that they're doing is not new. It's not, a lot of the things that they're doing is not new. It's just an upgraded skin, or it's just an upgraded version of something that's been done in the past. So spiritual warfare, psychological warfare, and technological warfare. But I think what people truly need to focus on, if you can't get yourself to understand the technological side, do your best to understand yourself as a spiritual light being, because you are more than just your flesh. You are a light energy being inside of a flesh body, right? You are a light energy being inside of a flesh body. They're using technology to have an influence on the energy that is powering your flesh. If they can manipulate the energy of your nervous system, that'll have adverse effects to your physical body. That'll have adverse effects to your muscles, your tendons, and things like that. So if they can manipulate the nerves, or they can transmit signals to the brain that'll literally change your thought path from healthy, healing, recovering things, then tweak you into wanting to feel detrimental, non-healing, all these basically harmful things, then that's what they're doing. I don't know, I'm starving. I got a sandwich in my bag, but I ain't even touch it all day today. But yeah, so they've been attacking me a lot more psychologically and spiritually. The technological stuff is like that. They hack your emails, they hack your phone, they manipulate, your Wi-Fi network. It's interesting because when I was at my girlfriend's house, we was trying to watch Netflix, and I went to go and pick up the remote. It wasn't a Fire Stick, it was like something else. I think it was like Tuco or Toku TV, Roku TV, something like that. And as I'm like trying to, use the remote, as I'm trying to use the remote to go through like the apps or go through the different pages and stuff, there's a lag. There's like a lag with the TV, and I'm thinking to myself, they have great internet. They shouldn't have a lag with Netflix. And then I'm like, why would Netflix be lagging? But then I always have to not even that I have to always remind myself, but I just always remember, if it's electronic, it's in their spectrum of what they can control and manipulate. If it's electronic, it's in their spectrum of what they can control and manipulate. So then I just went ahead and what did I do? Well, I kept going, right? I kept trying. And every time I would press play to play a movie or whatever, the app itself would actually just shut down, and then the whole screen would start back over to its like beginning menu page. And I'd have to click back over to Netflix, find the movie I was trying to watch, press play, and then it'll start, and then it's like the app will crash. And then once the app crashed, then I just try to do it again. So then what I thought to do was, I had got my girlfriend's brother, because I don't believe he's being targeted, at least not to the degree that her and I are. So I say, here, you try it, right? So I had him try it, and then it played through. Nothing was lagging. Everything was smooth. So it's like you gotta remember, your energy is basically kind of like, it's almost as if like they made it so that you're like, anywhere that you go, anyone you talk to, you're kind of going to be like a repellent. So things just may not work whenever you try to use something, because that's just what they did. They decided themselves that they're going to make sure that, okay, anytime he gets around this thing, make sure it doesn't work. Or anytime this person tries to look up something in particular, you jam the server, or you overload the servers of whatever website they're trying to use, and you make it so that they can't, they get frustrated and they quit wanting to look up whatever they were trying to look up. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but that is a lead cap. I'm trying something, right? So I have on a lead cap. I got it on eBay for like $30, and then I also have on some other like reflective material on top of that. I was thinking I could possibly block or reduce some of the light energy or radiation going into the brain. It doesn't block it entirely. No, it doesn't. It does not block it entirely. But I do realize a significance in reduction of the what am I trying to say? The power or intensity of the frequency. So it does reduce the intensity of the frequencies, but it doesn't stop it. I plan to actually add layers to this. I don't know if I'll try to see if I was thinking maybe I could get like some type of flexible material that I can maybe tape on, or hell, even glue to this lead cap, and then mix in like maybe a layer of like some type of like graphene infused paint or graphene infused card reflector, or what is it, wax or something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to keep looking into whatever I can. But I know this does help, and yeah, I'm gonna just keep on trying and see what I can do. Yeah, I still feel pretty bad after hearing that Robert Stanson had passed away. I know I mentioned this in the video in the past. Yeah, us TIs were like, at least those of us on Facebook, we're taking note of a few TIs who are like dying, and interesting enough, it's like they're like dying like this year. At least 4 TIs, 2 of them I actually no. Yeah, at least 2 of them I spoke to over the phone, or yeah, 2 of them I at least spoke to over the phone, or was in pretty consistent contact with. They passed, and that kind of affected me, because it's like, we as TIs, we try to tell each other, whatever you do, don't stop posting your experiences. If you can have someone else, have like someone you trust, be able to be able to check on your profile every so often. They can have the password, because if anything would happen, if you let know, or if something happens to you, that person can then be like, I guess someone who can let everybody else know what's going on. And I know my girl, like I know she's thought about it from time to time, about the idea of me dying. I've already accepted it. I mean, I feel like death is something that we're all supposed to accept. I mean, of course, nobody wants to die, but it's something that we have to accept. Death is a part of life. No one lives forever. Anybody who ever really lives forever is probably bored out of their lives. I would never want to live forever. At least not on Earth. At least not on Earth. It's too much of it. But yeah, I'm trying my best to hang in there. They've been working on me a lot more spiritually and psychologically. The physical stuff, I could deal with the physical stuff, the pains and all that. Because whatever painful things that they do to me, I could calm myself down and then remember the things that I know I can do to help reduce the pain, or hell, if possible, even cancel out the frequency itself by possibly finding, using my frequency generator app, use repelling magnets, place them along my skin so that it creates like some type of like interfering magnetic field. Yeah, or like I'm about to do when I get home, I'm about to go and take this sea salt and baking soda bath for about 45 minutes, trying to see if I can get some of this negative energy, this crap out of it. But it also helps with like soreness, pains, things like that too. Yeah. Yeah, they've been trying to work on splitting my girlfriend and I know I've been a lot stronger about it, but then I think they've been using a new type of tactic because, let's just say, long story short, I am a sexual person. I'm not abusive or like overly sexual or rude or anything like that. You know, I'm a sexual person. You know, sex is a part of my love language. But I also do know that in my past that I probably use sex for a lot more things than just sex. Like I know in my past I've definitely been one to use it to, I don't know, some people would drink, some people would smoke, some people would eat, some people, I don't know, work out or whatever when they're feeling a certain type of way. Me, I used to want to have sex, right? So, what they've been doing, or at least what I've been noticing, and I've been making sure that I am in full control of my emotions and what I allow myself to dwell on, is what they would do is they would make sure that we're not necessarily aligned when it comes to being sensual and romantic with one another. Plus, she doesn't get the V2K, I do. So I hear them basically talk trash about everything that I think of. They talk trash about every action that I do, everything that I try to do for my girl or my mother, or if I try to like, hell, even if I try to like do something for myself, because, you know, you gotta remember to do for yourself at times and not just give. You have to take care of yourself. You gotta do things for yourself. And then what they'll do is they'll say, "Oh, look, he's selfish." They have a whole dialogue or a script or whatever thing, litany of things for them to basically try to like come at your character about. But it's whatever. But yeah, so what they would do is they would make sure that we're not aligned when it comes to certain things, you know, whether it's one person is probably more tired than the other, or, you know, this one person might be trying to, like, I guess, overcome the pains of their trying to overcome the pains of their attacks, or one person just can't seem to like manage or get control of their emotional energy, as they would say. Get control of their emotions. You know, it's like, imagine feeling like you feel say depressed, but let's just say, imagine feeling down, right? But you don't even really have a reason to feel down about it, and you keep thinking to yourself, why do I feel down? Like your whole energy, like everything about it just feel like it's just being suppressed or pushed down, and you just feel like, and every time you try to do something to try to pick yourself up, it always feel like you're hitting a ceiling. You know, like me, I believe I'm really good at manually tuning myself to a higher vibration. But at times, especially lately, I guess maybe if I'm not getting enough rest or something, it gets harder to try to tune my emotions manually. So what they would do is, let's say if I wanted to do something, or let's say if let's say my girl wanted to tease me, right? She wanted to do, I don't know, tickle me or just like, I don't know, she wanted to just be sensual for a second. She wanted to tease me or whatever. Me, and knowing how I am, it's like I go from, I don't know, like, I guess it depends on how I'm feeling at that moment. Because my sensual, my level, it could go from 0 to 100, or I could jump from 0 to like, you know, heavy petty, or 0 to, you know, maybe just doing a massage or something. But yeah, a lot of times, I don't know. I like what I like. But so what's been happening lately is she would do something to like tease me or whatever. Now I kind of don't like being teased, but I mean tease being like you know, like touching tease. And I'm like, okay, all right. So I feel myself getting real excited, and then I guess, I don't know, I guess in my mind I start thinking to myself, ooh, I'm about to get some. And then all of a sudden, she kind of like, she'll like, it's like she'll just like, I don't know, it'll just be like, and she'll just like let it die down. Or she'll just like, no, I wasn't even trying to do all that. I was just messing around with you. So then, it's like, my energy is up here at that point. Like with all the playing and whatnot, my energy is up here. My sexual energy is up here. But then once she like does the whole change her mind thing, or let's say she teases me, right, whatever, we lay in bed and she teases me or whatever, and then all of a sudden she just stopped, and then I look over, she falls asleep. My energy is up here. And then now all of a sudden, her energy is gone. And then as I'm trying to like be mature and like relax and calm myself down, I can't get it to calm down. And it's happened twice over this week where I can't get it to come back down. And I was struggling with it too. I was trying to get it to come back down, and as I'm trying to manually tune myself back into a much better emotional state, I'm hearing them through the V2K talking about Chris has no idea. He lost his emotional energy. All this stuff, they're like, because, you know, of course they're commenting on everything that you're doing physically and in your brain live. And then that's what I'm saying. You gotta be a different type of person to get to be dealing with V2K, right? So, God bless all of you who don't get V2K. But yeah, so I don't like that because it's like, I don't know. For me, it's like being so, it's like getting disappointed, and I don't like being disappointed. Disappointments is like, I know disappointments are a part of life, but if I can avoid them, I'll do everything in my power to do so. And I don't ever want her to get to the point where she's like, where if I tell her this, or, you know, I've told her the first time that it happened, and then she did something similar this, like, last night, which is kind of like, that really kind of messed with me. But I know they were also behind it too, because they were adding extra stress on top of what I was already experiencing. Where like, I was already asleep. I was already asleep, right? Then all of a sudden, I feel her nudging at me. She wakes me up, and she's like signaling me to like get undressed. So I'm like, okay, you know, I'm kind of tired, but I'm like, I'm in. And then all of a sudden, after I do all that, she's like laying there next to me. And all of a sudden, she goes to sleep. I look up and I'm like, yo, it's midnight. And I'm like, yo, my alarm goes off in like another like 2.5 hours. So at this point, my adrenaline, everything in me is already like up here. Like I can't go to sleep now. And anybody who knows, it's not all that fun when you're trying to see if you can get your partner to do something and they tired and like, yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same without the engagement, without them interacting too. It's not the same. It almost feels wrong in a sense. You know, but yeah, so I had to go back into myself because I realized over time, the spirituality part about it all is understanding that yes, we are connected to people because we choose to connect, but we have to be very aware that we need to disconnect ourselves from people from time to time. We have to disconnect ourselves from people and things from time to time because the more we keep ourselves connected to something or someone, we're allowing our energies to continue to be mixed or we're constantly exchanging energy and messages with one another, right? But the better thing would be to do is to make sure you take those moments to just like be by yourself, you know, read by yourself, go out for a walk, you know, do things by yourself that helps you retrain your mind to like, I guess, be comfortable with what you have within you, you know. And I know, based on my past, even before my time, and I'm starting to even believe that my sexuality is probably is a product of them manipulating me my entire life. Whether it was these four, no, it probably wasn't these four people who got me brain mapped now, but it was probably other people when I was younger. But yeah, like we gotta learn to be okay with being alone or disconnecting ourselves from other people. Anyway, I done talked to y'all long enough. My girl and I, we're still working on things, and my mom, she's trying to, just push her way through it. She doesn't ever really want to get too involved into reading about gang stalking or trying to study about the technology, anything like that, because she says she doesn't want to give the devil any more credit. And I'm just like, okay, I get that. You choose to, want to handle it that way. I'm like, all right. Me personally, I would rather find out how they're doing these things. So then if I wanted to pick and choose when I wanted to try to, like, I guess, defend myself or reduce the effectiveness of what they're doing, I know how to because I know what they're doing. But because she don't know how they're doing it, she never learned, so she was just taking in so much pain her entire life, not even realizing. If you would have just looked into it, you probably could have been doing things to help make your life a little bit smoother. but she's just been doing it just straight up, you know, straight up between her and God. Like that's how she's really been doing it. Because my mother, she doesn't drink, she don't smoke weed, she don't do any drugs. Hell, that's funny because being honest, my mother hates the fact that I drink alcohol at all, whether it's beer or wine or whatever. She hates the fact that I drink alcohol at all, and she really hates the fact that I am a cannabis consumer, whether it's by smoking or digesting, oral intake, edibles and whatnot. She hates all that, and it's kind of already bad enough that I don't go to church like she does. Like, I'll go every so often, but I don't go every week. Like, I would go for like special occasions, or I don't know, maybe there's a particular day that I'm feeling like, okay, you know what, I'll surprise my mother and show up to church or something. That's just me. I don't have anything against the Bible. I don't have anything against church itself. What I am protective of is myself and the people within it. Yeah. Have I been manipulated by a church before? I don't know. I could have been, but I don't know. Churches are run by people, and people do manipulate other people or try to, coerce other people into doing things. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Yeah, that's it. Take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.